Is Club Royale worth it to you? In today's video, I'm going to show you why I use Club Royale and how I use it and why I think it's worth it. So first, the information is as of August 13th, 2026 and is subject to change. This information provided is based upon my interpretation. Please do your own research using Royal Caribbean's website. To do an overview of Casino Royale, you earn points for your play. So every time you put $5 into the machine, you earn 1 point. So you cycle that $5 through by pressing the button, and then you earn 1 point. It is $15 coin in equals 1 point on video poker, $10 an average wager on blackjack for 1 hour of play equals about 10 points. The tier credits are broken up into categories. So there's choice, prime, signature, and masters. We want to focus on prime because prime is where you need 2,500 tier credits in order to become prime, and then that will unlock some benefits that we'll talk about later on. And then I'll also show you how those benefits work for me. So you can actually see the breakdown on what I pay for a cruise versus what it would have cost if I did not have Prime. So again, the focus is going to be on reaching those 2,500 tier credits. So your tier credits are earned from April 1st to March 31st the following year. So if you get Prime this year and it's after April 1st, then you will have Prime for all of this year and next year. Okay. The room types are usually when you first begin, it's going to be an interior room or possibly an ocean view room. And that really depends on the amount of gaming activity you have, like how much you bet per spin, how long you spend in the casino. So there's some factors that are going to determine the type of your room type. You may receive multiple offers. So a free room for one occupancy and you pay a discounted price for the second is pretty typical for the beginning stages of Prime. However, you can actually get rooms that are for double occupancy, both people in the room, both guests, would be considered free. So those are the kind of offers that I currently get. But when you first start off, it could be one occupancy and then a discounted price for your second occupancy. So the most important benefits of Prime, in my opinion, is that again, you get the free rooms. You're only paying your taxes and port fees based upon your occupancy. So for me, I'm only one person most of the time going into my room. And so I'm only paying taxes and port fees for one person. If I had two people in my room, then I would pay taxes and port fees for two people. The free drinks is also a benefit. Your bottled water, soda, non-alcoholic drinks, and alcoholic drinks are all complimentary while you're playing in the casino. You also get an annual cruise. So once a year, you'll get a cruise that you can schedule up to 1 year out. There's a list that goes out. It provides you with all the cruises that are available. And there's some really good cruises that show up on that annual cruise list. And then you just select that cruise and you're good to go. You're just paying the taxes and port fees. The other offers that you get in the mail on a weekly or monthly basis, those offers are typically, you can schedule those 2 to 3 months out. Sometimes you might get some within the same month that you can schedule if you've got that kind of flexibility. That happens sometimes as well. The cashless wagering allows you to use your card, your CPAS card, in the machine and download money onto the machine from your CPAS card. So you're basically using your credit card. Let me see how I can explain this so it makes sense. You are using the CPass card. The CPass card is tied to a credit card, your credit card. And when you download money, you're basically charging that money to your credit card, if that makes sense. So you put your CPass card in, you download the money onto the machine, and then that charge gets placed on your credit card at the end of the cruise. And you'll see those as you're going through. But that fee to do that is waived once you're Prime. So it prevents you from having to get up from your machine, go to the ATM, pay the ATM machine, and pay a fee um, for the cruise company charging you for that ATM. So you might get double dinged, or you might even have to pay the fee again because your bank is charging you a fee. So to avoid all of that, you can download from your CPass card, which goes directly to your credit card, and then that fee is waived. The disadvantage, obviously, if we do the math, 5 times 2,500 points would be $12,500. So obviously, the upfront cost can be very expensive. However, I'll show you later on how I've been able to do it. And you can watch, I'm sure, other YouTubers who will show you that you can possibly get that 2,500 tier credits without spending 12,500. So when you're doing this, you really do need to create a budget because it can become very expensive if you're not doing it correctly. If you're spending way more money, you can go over that 12,500 because if you continue gambling past your 2,500 points, then you're going to spend more money, obviously. But initially, what you're trying to do is get to the 2,500 because that's going to unlock those additional benefits. So obviously the wager amount, the amount you wager, the machines you play, the amount you win or lose could impact that 12,500. So keep that in mind as well. Disadvantage number 2, when you are in port, so let's say you're doing a 2-night Cabo San Lucas port overnight, you are not going to receive your free drinks because the cruise casinos are bound by the international maritime laws. They must close the casino while it's in port. Now, there are some times when you're in port in some places where the casino might be open, but if the casino is closed on the cruise ship, the bar that you can go to get your free drinks will also be closed. So you will not be able to get those free drinks while you are in port. Another disadvantage is, just trying to keep things under control and making sure that you gamble responsible. Because addiction is no joke, and you can get caught up very easily with trying to earn the tier credits, earn the free rooms, and every casino, every cruise ship that you go on will have some sort of extra offer that if you meet this particular number, then you can go on the next cruise and you get another free cruise, and it just continues on and on and on. So it's easy to get caught up, and you've got to be able to control the gambling to do this strategy. Now, here's an example of my 2026 cruises, and I only put a few of them on here. I have 18, I think at this point, 18 cruises scheduled for 2026. And I only wanted to show a few of them because, again, it just complicates the math. So let's look at the first. The first cruise I went on this year was Navigator of the Seas. That room type was a connecting promenade view. The cruise fare was $1,776. Now, keep in mind that the fare we're talking about does not include insurance. It does not include the gratuity. So I did not put those things in because each person is different and you can decide on whether you want to add those additional expenses. The amount that I paid in taxes and port fees for one person, because again, I'm in the room by myself, I paid $159.75 because the offer that I received was for 2 people in the room for free. Okay. When I was on Quantum of the Seas, that was a 7-day cruise, I had an ocean view balcony. That cruise would have cost me $2,702 if I had paid for it without being Prime. But because I'm Prime, I paid $163.41. On Vision of the Seas, that was a 9-day cruise. I had an ocean view room. That was $2,672. I paid $131.81. So those 3 cruises would have cost me $7,150. Now, in order for me to get Prime, when I was on Navigator of the Seas, I spent $3,000 on Navigator of the Seas to get my Prime status. Okay. So if I add that $3,000 plus the $454.97, which is my taxes and port fees, I'm at $3,454.97. Now, again, that's what it cost me to get Prime. I can't guarantee you that you're going to get Prime for $3,000. Some people are out there able to do it for less than that. It really depends on how much you bet per spend. It depends on, are you winning any money to maybe offset that cost? It depends on what machines you are playing, because obviously there are different machines that you can play. They may be boring machines that you can play, and you may have a better chance of getting some money back as you go along. So there's no guarantee that you will spend 3,000, but for the last 2 years, that's what I've spent to get my Prime. Okay. So the question becomes, is it worth it to you? If you are only doing 1 to 2 cruises a year, getting your Prime status may not be worth it. The expense, the upfront cost may not be worth having those extra cruises if you can't go on the cruise in the first place because you don't have the additional time to take for the cruise. So you can get all the offers that you want, but if you can't take the time off from work in order to go on the cruise, then it's not doing you any good. If you're too far from a port, maybe the expense is going to be that hotel room before and after and that flight that you've got to take in order to get to the port. So maybe those additional expenses would make it not worth you trying to get your Prime level. So leave a comment below and let me know whether or not you feel Prime is worth it for you, and or do you currently have Prime? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are doing it. When every time I'm in the casino, I'm talking with people, and one of the conversations that comes up is whether or not people are Prime. Because again, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're in there trying to earn our points so that we can make sure that we are Prime for the rest of this year and next year, because we want to continue cruising. Now, again, I have 18 cruises scheduled. I would not have been able to take those 18 cruises if I wasn't Prime, because there's no way I would be able to pay $3,000 to $5,000 per cruise in order to do all 18 cruises. It just wouldn't happen. And now I'm able to go on the additional cruises without having to pay that price. And I still gamble when I'm in the casino each time, but I keep it to a limit on how much I want to spend, and the amount that I'm spending compared to the amount it would have cost me for those cruises is still, I'm still better off making sure that I have my Prime status and that I continue gambling so that I can continue getting the offers. So let me know and leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching Nomadic Black Rose. And let me know what your thoughts are about using this strategy to get the free cruises. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next cruise.